Hey, it's About Town Deb. I am so excited. This show is pretty special to me, close to my heart. I have Wanda and Brittany Gaines, and wait to hear how I met them and their story and what they are accomplishing and how they're going to change the world. So hang tight. We'll be right back.
Out in Nevada near the silver mines, there's a kind-hearted woman. She's looking so fine, always taking care of her community. Bringing folks together is her cup of tea. She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
Hey, it's About Town Deb with City Talk. I am so excited. This show is really, as I said in the little teaser, so important to me. Because, you never know who you're going to meet, when you're going to meet them, how you're going to meet them, and how they're going to stay in your life and impact your life, and how they're going to continue to impact everyone's life. So I would proudly introduce you to Wanda. Put your little hand up. Wanda. And Brittany Gaines. Brittany is a superstar in my book, and they're incredible. But before we start the show, let's go ahead and thank our sponsors. So I have plenty of time to chat with these two incredible women. We want to thank Crystal Basin Cellars, which, Wanda, I'm sure you're familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you've had plenty of his wine, correct?
Oh, yeah. Brittany's been there selling a few things of her own.
Oh, we'll talk about it. We can add that in our conversation too. Yeah. And then Kim Surratt, who you know as well. And Kim Surratt with Surratt Law Practice. What did she do with your beautiful daughter when she was here with him?
Her and Brittany, they had some fun out there hunting turkeys together.
How cool is that? So that's pretty cool. And then, of course, we want to thank Angel Fenix Productions. And, I'm actually at home in Reno, Nevada. You guys are in Cameron Park, the Shingle Springs, Cameron Park, correct?
Shingle Springs, yeah.
Shingle Springs. And normally we are at the Musicians Rehearsal Center in Sparks. But with the snow we've had and the weather and the internet, we decided we had to just do some adjusting. And also Caliber Hair and Makeup and Dee Dee James, who you probably heard Dee Dee James sing before in the wine country. Yeah. So the theme song was, he created it. And so we've got our shout outs done. I'm going to give our quick quote because I was looking at Wanda's website because I wanted to see a little bit more. I mean, I've seen, she has Camel Queen, which we'll talk about, but she's also, she's doing coaching now. And when I looked at her website, the first word that popped up was dream. It was so amazing because the quote that I picked, not knowing Wanda was going to be on, was about dream as well. So the universe is pulling us together. So when you have a dream, you've got to grab it and hold on to it and never let it go, by Carol Burnett. So we want you to, all you out there, it's my new thing I'm saying. We want you to dream big and never get up and know that nothing's impossible with hope and faith and just believing and actually doing. So with all that said, now we're ready. Wanda and Brittany, welcome officially.
Thank you so much for having us.
I am so excited to see your beautiful faces. I've missed you. The roads have kind of going over from Reno to the El Dorado area. Sometimes 80 is not the easiest to go over. So we've had quite a bit of snow lately. But we are here together virtually, thanks to the technology. I would love you to say a little bit about who you are. I mean, you're a beautiful woman and you do coaching, but tell me the essence of you and what we need to know about both of you right now.
Well, it's interesting that you should talk about dreaming big because on my website it says dream, believe, achieve. And I think that from the time that Brittany was born, we had some hurdles to jump the day she was born. And my husband and I, as well as our oldest daughter, who's not with us right now, she's working, she does photography. We've always held tight to our faith and always felt, dream, always believe and know that you can achieve somehow, some way. And that's just who we are, We've always been like that.
And so how old is Brittany right now?
How old are you, Brittany? For those of you,
yes. So share a little bit about Brittany.
So Britt was born with a speech impairment, and obviously she gets around. She has independence, thank God, by being able to drive around in her wheelchair with her head. And so, but for the sake of being able to talk a little bit easier, you want me to tell them how old you are? Okay. Yeah. So it's easy for her to say yes and no. And we've been trying to find a communication device for her, but she's 30 years old. So,
wow.
Yeah. So she's going to get a
birthday. And she just had a birthday recently as well. So sorry, I was not able to make it to your birthday, but happy birthday. And I wish you a happy birthday every single day, all year long. See that smile? I just love her smile. And I'm going to share a little bit about, I think we have a little bit of time how we met, because I want people to realize you don't know who's going to be in front of you. Like I said, Nello and Danica are really good friends of ours, and they were having a wine train where was it at? In Folsom?
I was in Folsom.
Yeah, yes. We was in Folsom. And so you bought a ticket and you were on the wine train and you had appetizers and wine, and it was amazing. It was so much fun. And I looked up and I'm like being About Town Deb, taking photos. And I'm like, look at that beautiful young lady. At that time was Brittany. She was younger, right? This was a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So, she was a little bit shy. I thought she was kind of shy then. Now she's not. But I met them and I'm like, you know what? I need to know your story. And from that day on, we have been connected, and we've gone to Wanda's house. We've had pool parties. We've hung out. We've become really good friends and family friends. We've stayed there. So my point is, I did not know that on that moment, taking those photos, we were going to meet. So that's my point is, please keep your eyes open, your heart open, and go up to that person that tells you, I got to meet them. Go make that happen. So we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we are going to continue on with her story. It's About Town Deb, the City Talk. I'll be right back.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
You're enjoying this episode on Angel Phoenix Productions Podcast Network. To explore a complete lineup of quality programs and media production services, head on over to angelphoenix.com or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Angel Phoenix Productions.
She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to City Talk. I am Debbie McCarthy, About Town Deb, your host. And once again, I'm so delighted to have Wanda and Brittany Gaines. They are dear friends of mine, and they've taught me that nothing is impossible. Now, you had mentioned earlier, Wanda, that, when she was born, it was a tough time. And 30 years later, so tell me, what kind of obstacles have you guys had to go through to make it to where you are today?
Some of the obstacles have to do with the fact that when someone has, and Brittany's very open for sharing her story, just so viewers know, because we respect the way she feels about it, but we've talked about it, and she's always felt that if she could help someone by sharing her story, that's what she wants to do. And so Brittany has cerebral palsy. She's quadriplegic. She has a vision impairment, a speech impairment, and she lacks fine motor skills. And as I said earlier, she drives her motor chair with her head, and she does a great job. So, but anyhow, having that type of involvement can make it very difficult to get out in the community and participate in things. And so some of the hurdles we've jumped in most recent years is when I began my business, Camel Queen, an apparel line for elegant outdoor women. Brittany became pro staff. And so that's pretty cool. You know, she had a lot of friends who were like,
again? Can you say that she became what? Part of the staff. Pro staff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pro staff for promotional purposes of Camel Queen apparel. Okay. And so, you know, that's pretty cool. She was able to share that with people. I know that most recently I became a Covenant life coach in 2020. And my specialty is dealing with families who have special needs. And so it's just really rewarding to be able to share some of the experiences I've had and help others embrace happiness and abundance, whatever that looks like for them. But I don't know, we've just come to a place where we just love serving others and helping them reach the goals that they've set out to try and reach in their life. And so we believe, we keep that faith, and we know that while other people may do things a certain way, it doesn't mean that Brittany has to do it the same way as you or me. You know, we can find other ways for her to participate. And I think that's one of the hardest things in society is people who can so easily do anything out there, just like you and I can just go out there and use our hands to do stuff, use our vision to do stuff, you know, speak to people well, and they understand us. Whereas there's a lot of people out there like Brittany that can't do those things, but we can find other ways for them to participate and enjoy life. You know, I'm very thankful you mentioned Nello Olivo wines and Crystal Basin Cellars.
Those are two of our favorites.
Those folks, they are so dang awesome. I mean, you know, we do things like we get together with my sisters and Brittany and I, and we will paint rocks for the different holidays and stuff. When the pandemic was going on, we would hide them in the neighborhood to help people just be happy, you know. We'd send them messages on their social media and say there's, you know, rocks hidden in your property and stuff like that, you know. But Brittany has gone to Nello Olivo Wine and Crystal Basin Cellars, and she has actually gone there and sold rocks to just make a little extra cash, you know, and have fun and get to participate with the community and get to meet people. And that's one thing with people who have disabilities. Sometimes it's very difficult to meet other people. They're out working jobs, you know, doing things in the community that are more difficult for people with special needs. So I actually, most recently, Brittany and I are planning on starting a connection club. And we're not quite sure of all the details yet, but we picked up a domain. It's actually going to be called America's Connection Club.
I love it.
Yeah, so we've always been so thankful for those people like Nello Olivo and Crystal Basin Winery who have had Brittany there to sell rocks and get to know people in the community. And that's something that's just so important for people like Brittany. It's more difficult for them to meet people out in the community because they aren't working, and it's harder to do things with their hands or to communicate verbally. And so where you have people like Britt, she really is an outgoing person, you know, but it's not that easy for her to get out in the community and meet people without assistance or her dad or her sister and I there or an assistant of some sort. So most recently, Brittany and I decided to start putting together a connection club. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to go about it yet. I've been talking with a business coach, and we're just in the beginning stages. I did acquire a domain. We're going to call it America's Connection Club. And it's not just going to be about people who have special needs that have a hard time getting out and meeting other people, just to relax and have fun and get to know one another, right? It's not just for people like them. But what about the caretakers who are, you know, caretaking 24/7 and feel like, oh gosh, that's all I'm doing, you know? Maybe they want to sit down and relax and just get to know people on a different level that they serve in the special needs industry, right? Maybe there's an assistant. Maybe there's a aunt or an uncle or a cousin or a neighbor that would want to be a part of attending a virtual connection club of some type.
Okay, so you're talking virtual.
Yeah, and we don't know where it's going to lead to. It might lead to other things. But
you know what? Now that I think of it, when you shared how, if you're a caregiver or you're the aunt or the grandma or the mom or the neighbor who is always, you're there, you're around it, but not everybody understands what it's like to, to be, not able to get out and not able to meet people. And it's a tough road. It's a tough road for anybody, let alone somebody like Brittany. She smiles and she just wants to be there, and she just wants to join you and wants to be a part of it. And I want to give both you and your hubby a shout out, because you take her. She's gone camping. You take her everywhere. You have her in the pool. She gets to meet people, and when she's in her chair and she's coming up to the different restaurants, and there's a spot for her, and you make sure that she's treated with respect and that she feels so welcome. And I know when I see her coming up, I'm like, yay, Brittany's here. And I come up and you just see her smile. But there's not a lot of people who maybe have the resources to do that, to get you have a special van, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's not, how else have you had to adjust to make life a little bit easier in your home?
Well, for Brittany, when we moved here, we got a truck put in her bedroom because, you just don't know, as Bill and I get older, having to lift and things like that. So we did put in a ceiling track that goes into her bathroom, so that I can get on the toilet without having to struggle. We have the van, we have a wheelchair accessible home. It's all one story. We bought a lift to get her into the pool, all those things. But I will tell you that recently we've called her a caseworker for the state, and most adults have caseworkers with the state. And that's where you find out about a lot of the resources. And so we asked, what are some of the community involvement things going on right now?
Okay, Wanda, I have another question for you guys. Earlier in the show, you had mentioned you were working on getting a device so that she could speak. And I know I've been at your house, and you had like a laptop, and it was really cool, and you were able to find ways to communicate. So say a little bit about that. We have about a minute.
Well, right now, we are in the process of seeking another assessment for a communication device, because that one hasn't worked well. And so it's just, something, it's kind of a hit and miss, work with the therapist and until you figure out what works, really. So, we have an assessment coming up. And of course, that one that we had before, that was quite a few years old. And as you know, technology gets so much better, quicker these days. So we're hopeful that when she does have that assessment, we'll have something that she can embrace and be able to communicate on her own with others. So that's our prayer.
I cannot wait for that day when she can look at me and really say, "Hey, Dove, yay!" And I know that I don't even have to hear her say that. I know that when I see her, and she's probably tired of me because when I'm with her, I'm like, "Come on, let's take a selfie." And she's so good at photos. And when we come back from the break, we're going to actually talk about your next endeavor that you are doing with your other daughter. So we're going to take another break and be right back. And we're going to hear about your next opportunity to shine.
You're enjoying this episode on Angel Phoenix Productions Podcast Network. To explore a complete lineup of quality programs and media production services, head on over to angelphoenix.com or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Angel Phoenix Productions.
You know that's what she said. Come on, let's have some fun with About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk. I am Debbie McCarthy, your host, and I have two of my amazing, incredible, beautiful friends, Wanda and Brittany Gaines, with us. And I love the fact that they're so open. And I have to say to Brittany, thank you, Brittany, for being here and being patient and just having your mom be able to tell your story, which is so important. And it's going to help so many other young men and women who are fighting that fight where they just want to get out and they want to be heard and express themselves. But you need somebody to assist you and help you with that and be a champion. And, you are that champion, and I gotta say, Brittany, you also have been involved with the Cameron Park, Shingle Springs, was she a queen? What was that?
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. And you were crowned and you were the first one. And I was so proud to be there and just enjoy the moment and watch so many more moments that you have created since then. But also, we want to talk a little bit about your sister. So I'm going to have your mom share a little bit about how important she is to you. And now you have a little niece as well. So let's talk a little bit about family now, Wanda.
Oh my goodness, her little niece. And Brittany has a new name in this world. Brittany is now known as Auntie Titi.
Okay.
Yeah, when the granddaughter came into the world, here, Britt, let me help you. She started calling her aunt Titi, so it's super cute. But my oldest daughter, Brooke, that you were just mentioning, she went to school to be a teacher, and she was a teacher for many years. And but at the same time, she was doing photography on the side for about 15 years. And about a year and a half ago, she took a leap of faith because she had a new baby and quit her job and went photography full time. Well, the first year she won an award with Style Magazine for Roseville, Rockland, and Granite Bay area for being one of the best photographers in the area. And most recently, back up. Last year, she did a photo shoot with Brittany on Brittany's birthday. Brooke has shared that most recently for Brittany's birthday this year, saying, happy birthday, sissy, this and that, and using that to say happy birthday. She has had, and I'm not a techie person, so I don't know what social media outlets they were, but there's been 2 outlets that Brooke's a part of that have had over 5,000 hits on each one of them with Brittany. Modeling and stuff that Brooke has done. So they recently decided to team up, and they are very hopeful that they will hire out as a package and that Brittany may have the opportunity to act as a model for some big name stores, doing some ads. Yeah, who knows? But that's what Brooke and her are brewing up right now and getting all excited to try and embrace. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, you know what? That means so much to her, because now not only, she has her chair, which will get her around, she's going to be able to make her own money and save it up. And so when she wants to go get a new shirt or be stylish or get her hair styled or nails done, she can do it on her own. And I know that she's very, she wants to look her best all the time. I do know that. And she always has her makeup just right. So this is a great opportunity for her to even shine more, but to show all the other young people and that have that disability or the struggle that they can do it too. I mean, and that we want other people to know that, she's thriving and she's doing amazing. And I am, like I said, I'm so proud of you, Brittany. I just love it.
They have a photo shoot scheduled tomorrow night. And so, the other night we spent time online picking out some beautiful photography outfits and whatnot. So tomorrow night she'll be at her sister's house in the studio doing some photo shoots, and I'm sure it'll be fun.
What was your biggest challenge over the years when she was in school and growing up, going through all this? Like to get the help that you needed and to let the schools know, and I know doctors have been a struggle when insurance changes. So, what's been the biggest struggle that maybe you can share to help other families that are going through this?
Well, going through the public school system, that was a huge, huge struggle.
Yeah.
Continually advocating for getting the accommodation she needed to read, to write, to be a part of things that other kids were doing. And the accommodations were not always there. And so we eventually pulled her out of the public school system, and we had to figure out how to educate on our own, which wasn't easy. We found a school back east that there was a name for it, like you communicate. I forget the name of it. Anyhow, it was a school from back east that sent us the supplies she needed and would instruct us on how to help educate her and get her through the process. But in addition to just simply finding accommodations so that she could be educated properly, it was a struggle as she started to get older, because when she was younger and the kids were younger, they came over our house, would go swimming, we'd take Brittany to their house, they'd do stuff. But as they got older, the kids started having boyfriends, or they got jobs, or they went off to college, got married, started having babies. So these close relationships started just going further and further apart, and that's just life, So
for all of it, that's life.
Yeah, and so that's a lot of the reason, and especially with me doing coaching and knowing that she's not the only one that deals with that has special needs. There are so many people out there who wish they could have the opportunity just to participate in life and get to know people and just relax and have fun and not feel like, wow, everybody else could do something, but I can't because I can't walk, or I can't talk, or I can't, we just want to create something where everybody can come on in and just get to know everybody from the heart, no matter what they can or can't do. I don't know what that's going to look like, but we're moving forward.
Wanda, you don't need to know what it looks like.
Yeah.
You're like me. We have faith that there's a path and there's a process. And if we just believe and we take our heart and our thoughts and we just say, we got this, and we just do it one step at a time, and each step brings you closer to where you need to be. And I feel like all the struggles we've had in the past is help us get to where we are, to know, wow, we did that. We made it through it. And for, Brittany, I remember she had some health stuff going on, and we were really worried about her. I mean, we'd be over there like, oh no, like we're so worried. And I look at her now, so you must have been able to overcome with the right doctors, right? Because now she's smiling and I'm not. See, there you go.
Yeah, she goes. Yeah, a lot of it. I actually started coaching her about probably close to 2 years ago. Started coaching her, and I'm going to tell you, it made a difference. It made a huge difference, and so. Yeah.
Well, tell me about that. Like how is it different? I mean, so how did you start the process of doing that? With your own daughter, is it different than somebody you don't know? This is your own daughter.
It was, honestly, I missed the boat because I had started doing coaching, and I knew what it was all about to change your mindset and working with people on that. But here my daughter was going through all these issues and constantly at urgent care and the ER and things like that. And one day I was desperate, and I just went, oh my gosh, I need to start trying to coach my daughter. And so that's what I started doing. And she still has had some medical issues, but not like she was. She's doing much better. As you said, you can tell she's doing much better.
I can totally tell. But what I was getting at is when people say coaching, a lot of people don't know what that means, but it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But for you and for Brittany, what was your first step? So people know that if they're out there listening and they would like to be coached and they want to know how to help their son or daughter or neighbor or aunt or uncle, what would be the first step of doing that?
Well, if you're feeling stuck in life and you're feeling as though you can't move forward, that's what I do. You would contact me at my website, WandaGainesCoaching.com. And basically it's changing the mindset, training your mind training yourself to think in a different pattern than what you may not even know you have been. You had to ask me that question. Now I'm like,
Yeah.
Anyway, you may not even know that you've been stuck in a pattern with your way of thinking for years and years, and that you can retrain your thought patterns and embrace happiness and abundance. But people just need a little bit of support with that. And it is so great when you see the transformation with people who didn't realize that they were stuck in certain patterns. And then when you're coaching them and changing their mindset, helping train them to have different thoughts that help them level up, because you can't level up if you're staying in your comfort zone that you've been trained to be in most of your life.
I agree. I need to level up. I don't, it's hard for me just to change my routine. I think we all struggle with that. We get very comfortable with the same path to work, the same routine in the morning, and you're comfortable, you're safe. But to change it, to get out and go walk or to do, I'm still not there yet again. But I think that there's those like you said, you have to think it, believe it, and picture yourself doing it. There's all kinds of tricks. But it's time for our final break, though. So we come back from the break. We're going to get a little bit more personal with you. So hang tight. We'll be right back. It's About Town Deb with City Talk.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
You're enjoying this episode on Angel Phoenix Productions Podcast Network. To explore a complete lineup of quality programs and media production services, head on over to angelphoenix.com or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Angel Phoenix Productions.
Ready to help from her toes to her head. Just give her a shout. Call About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to our final segment of City Talk. I'm About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, and I'm here with Wanda Brittany Gaines, who I adore. And I'm so glad that many years ago, my heart told me to walk up and introduce myself and say, who are you? You're amazing. And taking those photos, there's that smile. And taking her photo, and I just knew. Oh, and at that point, I was publishing a lifestyle magazine, and we had her write for us. So she was able to, with the help of you, Wanda, to share her thoughts about what her life is like and how to help other people. So she is a writer, so we know. So I'm going to kind of turn the tables onto Brittany now, okay? She's been patiently there. So let's just have a little fun. So Brittany, and you could say yes or no to these, okay? So what is your favorite ice cream, chocolate or vanilla? Or neither? Which one? So you could.
She said chocolate. Yeah.
Chocolate. I love chocolate. Oh, and so now, okay, hold on. Here's another thing. Being 30 years old, when you turned 21, what was your favorite thing to sip on? Because I know I used to see her sip on something.
What's your favorite drink?
What? Or what's your favorite soda?
Say it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
She's working at it.
Want me to tell them?
Yeah.
Her favorite soda is either root beer or Sprite.
I like them both. I don't have enough root beer lately. I need to do, actually, I'm trying to not have sodas because somehow the carbonation, I don't know, makes me cough. Everything makes me cough. One more little tidbit for you. Does she have a favorite color of nail polish? I know she likes to get her nails done.
What color do you like when you get your nails done?
What?
Say it again.
Say it again.
Yeah. Say it louder. She said it 3 times. Purple.
Purple. Yes. Okay. Well, then that makes sense because I was trying to think when she was crowned the queen, what color was her dress?
It was purple.
It was purple. I can't believe I remembered that. Yes. And so you also, so I have another question for you. You guys have amazing little doggies and you've got your dogs. How important do you feel it is, or how does a pet help during the process of all this, being a companion and help? Does it make a difference having a pet when you're going through difficulties?
For Britt?
Yeah, and for you too, because it could be stressful some days.
Well, for me, of course, I love my dogs. Brittany does too. But the dogs, they're great. Brittany loves the dogs, but the little guy, he doesn't sit on her lap. He's not a what do you call it? Companion dog.
Okay.
Or what do they call them? Companion dogs.
A companion dog.
But he actually sat on her lap when we first got him, but he fell off. And she was moving in the motor chair, and ever since that time, he's scared to get on her lap now. So,
well,
but, we love our animals, huh, Britt? Yeah,
I know she does. So, what going through the process from the time she was born till now, is there something you wish you would have known ahead of time to help through this journey? As a mom, as a caregiver. Like assistant?
Well, if I had to come up with one thing for me, with my own experience and having Brittany, when she was going through the school system, I wish I would have known. I didn't know any better. I wish I would have known to seek out a school that specialized for kids who had vision disabilities or lack fine motor skills, because the public schools, at least where we're at, they really struggle to accommodate these kids, and they get way behind. And so had we found a school that catered to some of her needs, I think it would have been a lot easier. You don't like to think that, because you just want them to do the normal things that the so-called normal things that everybody else does, and so that's how we were focused, and we tried to make it work, but it really didn't work that great. So had we found somewhere that could accommodate her needs, it may have been a lot easier. So.
And then the other question would be, for people out there listening, it's a struggle sometimes, is there, or being your coaching, do you think what would be the most common reason why people are failing, or they just want to give up? Because this is tough. I mean, you guys are there day in and day out. You have the opportunity to be there with her and take her to doctors and take her to dinner and take her to friends' houses, and your house is set up so she can get anywhere she wants to go. But for people who don't have all that and they're feeling like, oh my gosh, how can I do this? Can you help? Can you give them any advice, or can you help them?
Oh my God, don't ever give up. I mean, every person, I believe, was made on purpose for a purpose. No matter who you are, what you can do, what you can't do, physically speaking or otherwise. That's one of the reasons that we really want to kick off this Connection Club, so that people who don't have a big home that they can travel back and forth in, or they don't have parents to get them around to the appointments they need, or this or that we can come together and get to know one another, know what the needs are. And perhaps other people who don't have disabilities would be interested in being a part of this Connection Club. And perhaps they can find people through us all just having fun and relaxing that would want to help assist when they need some assistance and it's hard to find because they are disabled and can't get out on their own or speak for themselves or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, if there's anybody out there that feels like they just need to talk or find resources somehow to help, I don't know what kind of help someone with special needs would need, but whatever it is, if they just want to drop me a private message, send me an email, I would love to hear what they need so that hopefully if I have a resource for them, I can at least send that to them,
Yeah. So everybody needs to know that we're all in this together. I have my hashtag Together We're One Heart. And I started over the pandemic and everybody was saying, oh, it's only going to be then. I'm like, no, it's every day. I mean, together, there's no way we can exist. There's no way we can accomplish things on our own. So I love the fact that this Connection Club, I really feel is going to be a great asset to anybody, or even if you want to get involved and you want to be a helper and you want to know how if I was joining, I'd want to say, how can I help? If you're out in public and you see, somebody struggling, is it okay to just go up and say, is there a way to do that? Some people are afraid to go up. Have you found that?
Or maybe during the Connection Club, I don't know what it's going to look like in the end, but like I have some visions, like let's say someone pops on that loves volunteering in the community and they're like, oh, I want to be a part of this because I know there's people who might need my help. Well, what about a person who's participating in Connection Club and is sitting there like you were just talking about and going, I really don't have anybody. I don't have any friends. I can't get to my doctor's appointments. I can't, and I don't want to say it's a support group, but it is kind of, I want it to be more where they feel like they can have friendships and it doesn't always have to be a support group, but perhaps maybe there will be someone who loves volunteering and says, you know what, give me your phone number. I would love to connect with you and help you out.
It's as simple as that. But you also, on the other end, you have to be able to say, thank you. Yes, here's my number. That's also hard. I've talked about that in other shows. Sometimes it's hard for us to accept the help, but there comes a time that we need you to just be humbled and say thank you. Yeah,
exactly. And you never know. Some people don't want the help, and others will gladly take it.
But you don't know unless you ask. So you have to be open about that. I always give a shout out to Grandma V and my Aunt Ellie and all my family and friends. So there's my shout out. But I want to, so we're getting close to the end. I want to know, what are you both most looking forward to in 2023? Besides the Connection Club, do you have like a trip planned? Is there like an event happening?
Yes, we just went to Maui and we're going again. So we're going again.
Okay.
We're going again. We're also talking about perhaps going to Cabo. And
whoa!
Yeah.
I want to go. I want to go, Brittany. Can I go and hang out with you on the beach? And Georgia will come too. So with that said, there's no limitations. There's nothing you can't do. Family vacations. How cool is that? That you guys went to Hawaii as a family, and I saw the photos. You did amazing, and we're down to our last 30 seconds. So I just want to say thank you. Brittany, I love you, and I thank you for being on the show today. And Wanda, you're amazing and incredible. You want to say one last thought as we say goodbye to everybody? Give it a shout out.
Oh, just you guys, thank you all for watching, and thank you for taking the time to get to know my beautiful daughter, and hopefully we'll be able to all meet again soon on the Connection Club or wherever.
That said,
you never know where you'll meet, just like me.
Okay, you never know. So this is About Town Deb, Wanda and Brittany. I love them both. We will see you next week. Have an amazing day. And remember, together we're one heart.
This podcast was a production of Angel Phoenix Productions. Explore more episodes of this show or other great shows on the Angel Phoenix Podcast Network by visiting angelphoenix.com. The views expressed in this show do not necessarily represent those of Angel Phoenix Productions or its advertisers, and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.